in, everybody. I decided to switch the cube early. Good evening, Texas bikers, bikers all across the nation and the world. This is Texas Biker Radio number 457. My name is Mel Popeye Moss, and my co-host
OG. And are we recording?
We are recording.
Okay.
We're streaming. The streaming is excellent, and I did switch the cube early. Everything is right within the studio anyway in the broadcasting, but I don't know about what's going on out there, OG. I've been watching all afternoon the Texas legislature waiting for our bill to come up, 1338, on the gang database, and I touch base with the guys that are I think they're in the chamber, and they just adjourned 15 bills away. So it looks like it's pushed off to tomorrow.
Just typical.
Unbelievable, everybody.
Just frickin' typical.
You know, and I did post a link to that at Texas Defenders Region 2 a while ago, so other people could watch it. And I'm telling you, you talking about some dumb asses. And, you know, they can make a single bill go on and on and on, and yet like each session they do about 6,000 to 10,000 bills. And it's like... it's a mess.
Well, I can give you one worse.
Yeah.
I just was watching the news for the past hour.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm thoroughly depressed. But Chuck Schumer changed the rules. Now, I think everyone's aware of HB1.
HR1?
HR1.
Yeah.
In the Senate, I think they call it S1 or whatever.
Yeah.
Or in the House. You know, it's a pretty devastating piece of work on the part of the Democrats. Chuck Schumer changed the rules. It was in committee.
Mm-hmm.
It has not gained a majority, or it had not gained a majority in the committee. It was 50-50. Chuck Schumer changed the rules where it no longer requires a majority to make it out of committee to go to the floor for a vote.
Wow.
So the only shot left is the filibuster.
Wow. Hey, listen, everybody. And I went live this morning talking about this, HR1. You need to get on the phone to your congressman. It doesn't matter which party you're in. If you believe in the sanctity of the vote, if you believe in our Constitution, you better defeat this bill. You better call them up and tell them if they go for this, we are headed for big trouble. Big trouble.
You will never again see a Republican majority.
You will never again see a fair election. It will be what we had in 2020 again and again and again and again. And, you know, it may be time, OG, for us to get out there.
Yeah, with maybe more than pitchforks and torches.
Hey, I'm telling you, everybody, we cannot let this stand. You know what? If the blue states want to go out there and do this crap, have at it. Go out there and go your own way. And I tell you, the governors of these states better start getting some balls. Because state sovereignty is fixing to go into a wasteland. The federal government is taking away your state's sovereignty.
Oh yeah, you know, one of the pieces of that bill is to have federal overwatch on all state elections.
Yeah.
It takes away the states' rights.
Yes.
And the feds are in charge of the election.
Yes. We can't not have this. We can't have it. And I know there's some of you out there that thinks that Biden is the greatest thing since sliced bread. But let me tell you, is he busy fucking things up? We've gone from the number one oil gas producers in the world to now people are learning what pipelines mean to this country.
Well, you know, the feds, that hack and ransom job on the East Coast, the feds have stepped away and are saying it's up to private business to settle with the ransom.
That's because the potato head don't want to be blamed. He don't want to get involved. He wants them to solve it on their own.
Well, they want to shut down oil.
That's right. And that is really, really surprising, since the dollar is based on, well, is the petrodollar.
That's correct.
That's what our currency is backed up by. And we're busy destroying it. We're first of all out of our minds for allowing this to happen. And they're out of their minds, talking about the potato head and those who surround him, and Chuck Schumer and the list, Nancy Pelosi. The list runs on and on. It's mind-boggling. But people are going to recognize it soon enough. When gas continues to climb, the price of fuel, the price of everything, because there's not much out there that's not made with petroleum products.
Or delivered.
That's true.
With petroleum products being
That's
used.
true. Right now, lumber is out of sight. There's so many different things that are out of sight.
Oh, the grocery stores are just ridiculous.
You know, they called this a few weeks ago when they said, hey, there were going to be gas shortages around the nation. Well, they said this. How in the hell, was that a lucky guess or what?
There's long lines on the East Coast.
Yes, there is.
They were showing a video of that tonight. Cars waiting in line.
I'm telling everybody, you better be ready to get in the streets with us. You better be ready, because we're headed for disaster.
Well, everyone talks about what they'll do if they come to them.
Yeah.
Then it's going to be too late. It will be too late.
You see this up here in this corner? Let me get my finger out of the door. You see that? That window? You know what that is?
No.
That's the Gaza Strip right now, live.
Oh, okay.
Live. Every once in a while you'll see a flash up there. That's a rocket.
Well, they launched over 700 rockets last night.
Yeah. Well, guess what? They're at it again tonight. They've got plenty of them.
And we have members of Congress that are chastising and condemning Israel.
Yeah, yeah. You know what?
calling them terrorists and racists.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course, racist is the new favorite term to use.
Well, I tell you what, we'll get back to that in a minute. Let's continue with the potato head and crew. What they're doing to this country. They're systematically tearing it apart. Using chaos, using race, everything you can think of. And that moron, wait a minute, OG, let me say this. Let me say this. They were talking about yesterday, Biden's running away from the stimulus money. He's saying, well, no, there isn't anybody out there on unemployment that's gaming the system. Then he turned around and said, well, you better not be gaming the system.
It's against the law.
Yeah. So, but OG, they have not been requiring anybody to go out there and look for a job. I read that about a month ago. These people sitting at home just, hey, man, I'm doing good. I'm getting this government money. Why do I need to go to work?
Well, I mean, makes a lot of sense. What the hell? You know, they go to work. Maybe they're making $10 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
They're sitting home on the couch watching Netflix, doing $12 to $13 an hour, not having to pay for child support, not having to pay for gas.
Yeah.
What the hell?
And they're not having to teach their kids virtually.
That's right.
Because they weren't doing it anyway. The kids are falling further and further behind. It's crazy, everybody. And now, Rand Paul, and I hate to even call him doctor anymore. I even hate to call him Tony Fauci. That sounds like a crook, doesn't it? Rand Paul was chewing him out. I mean, big time. If you saw that article, that video that I posted of the Fox News. Oh, what's his name? The good one.
Well, you got Hannity, you got...
No, it wasn't Hannity, it was the... Oh, man,
oh,
help
yeah,
me here.
the firecracker.
Yeah.
Oh, hell. Aren't we the pair?
It'll come to me at midnight.
Name off some of the guys on Fox News that are real fireballs.
That are worth a shit.
Help us out, guys.
So, Tucker. That's it, Tucker. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry.
Oh, damn. It was right on the tip of my tongue. But anyway, Tucker explained they were talking about the origin of the coronavirus, whether it was in a lab or it came from an animal, or the wet market, as they were first insisting. But turns out they were using our tax dollars to fund that lab in Wuhan. You guys go back and watch that, and I'm telling you, it's incredible.
Hey, they must have gotten a hold of that book.
Well, wait a minute.
Where you can get
that.
Okay.
That kind of lab and that kind of work is illegal in this country. But for what we understand, Dr. Fauci and crew, now he's denying it, they used, the NIH used a loophole to get them funding. Then again, let me say this, it was illegal to do that kind of research in this country. And that's what Rand Paul was taking him on about today. And he had Tony on his heels. He had him on his heels. This man needs to be investigated. He needs to be investigated and investigated ASAP. We need to know who, We need to know when, and we need to know why that research was being funded. Because, OG, that virus was not transmittable animal to human. What they were doing in that lab was making it transferable human to human.
They were weaponizing it.
They were weaponizing it, everybody. Again, that was illegal in this country to do that kind of research. But somehow, the powers that be in the NIH got them funding. Now, why China would need funding from us, I don't understand. They manufacture everything we receive, our products that we used to manufacture. They've got 90% of them, or maybe more. Why they needed money from us, I don't understand. But they weaponized that virus, and it got loose, or either they let it loose, one or the other. And now, OG, China is threatening Australia. Heard that tonight. And they threatened them with bioweapons.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, they've made some serious threats. We've got 3 aircraft carriers going to the area now. We've got this mess going on up here on the screen, going on now. We went from a peaceful world to chaos, and guess what the potato head did? He restored funding to Hamas and the Palestinian territories.
Well, he also has the Vienna Conference going on right now.
Yeah.
If Trump were still in office, he'd have shut that down immediately.
Yeah. Idiots, everybody.
We had pretty much 4 years of peace. And in 100 days, we are on the brink of a few wars.
We're on the brink of multiple wars. We're on the brink of disaster in this country because they just keep printing money. And if you heard Steve Forbes today, he said we're headed for disaster because they continue to print money and because of their policies. I mean, the restaurants can't get workers to get off their ass and come to work because they're being paid extra monies. But guess what, everybody? Your replacements are coming across the border. Yeah, they can hire them. They may not speak English very well. You'll never get your order right. But at least you'll have somebody that walks up to the table, I guess.
They'll walk up and smile at you.
Yeah. And they're eager to work, everybody. Your replacements are coming in by the thousands. Well, that is unless they can get better pay from the cartels on this side of the border.
That's true.
Maniacs, everybody, at every corner. At every corner. Yeah. Lorenzo, yes, it is organized chaos. Every bit of it. And now in OG, we got children out there shooting children. We got people killing their families. I don't know what's wrong with our society. I don't know. Maybe it's the teachings the kids are getting at school. Because I'm sure they're not learning that. They're not learning that at home. You think? Then again, maybe they are. Maybe they are. But I will promise you, soon it's going to be time to get out in the streets. Now, people on the back channel, and you know who I'm talking about, the people are saying, hey,
Yep.
Look, Trump's going to be back in office by September. Well, I hope that's true. But you know what? We need him at least doing a few rallies now.
I'll tell you.
He shouldn't hide in the basement like Joe was doing, or then again, maybe that's a good strategy.
September could be too late.
Yeah, exactly.
You did say one thing, though, and that is, everyone needs to be thinking about, first of all, you got the elections coming up this next year, and obviously we need to vote every Democrat out of office that we can to try and get the majority back to try and control Potato Head.
Yes.
But I think one thing that's even more important is we've got several states where you've either got a liberal in control of the state and we've got conservatives running against those liberals, or you have some states that have rhinos when it's supposed to be a red state.
Yeah.
Now, even though I've heard everyone rant and rave about how great it would be if Abbott signs the open carry bill. Well, there's a little side show to that is it's got to make it to his desk.
Yeah.
Maybe he knows something we don't know. They've already added some fairly despicable amendments to the bill that came out of the Senate. If the House says okay, it will hit his desk, and I'm pretty sure he will sign it, but it's going to have those crappy amendments attached to it already.
Mm-hmm.
Let's count how many times in the past Abbott has done the wrong thing for the state of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he has, but I'll give credit where credit is due. He tends to run close to the conservative line most of the time. But the key word here is close. He's not as conservative as we need him to be, nor does he have the balls to do what needs to be done. Now, we have somebody that we know, it was just announced, that Don Huffines plans on running against him this next election. What we do know about Don Huffines is he tends not to have any fear.
Yeah.
He doesn't fear the police departments or law enforcement like the rest of the legislators do, where when law enforcement gets all their people together to oppose something like open carry or doing something about the crime database or doing something about profiling, Don's not for that. Don has also spoken out about property tax many times. He has spoken out about vehicle inspections. He thinks it's useless. It's a ruse. It's a money grabber. I have every reason to believe this guy may be the real deal. So we need to see if he's going to run. If he needs to run, maybe we need to support him. But everybody out there that's got a state governor, you better be taking a hard look at who the hell's running your state, because it may come down to, if these feds keep getting as crazy and crazier than they've been, it's going to be up to your state to stick up for you, to go for sovereign rights. But you got to have somebody that'll stand tall and has the balls to do it.
That's right. You have to push state sovereignty with all this going on. All this going on. Like I said the other night, if we've got trouble on the borders and the federal government's not taking care of it, by God, we ought to take care of it. We having problems with the federal government and Texas oil, and we need to take care of it. If we need our own oil system, gas and oil system, guess what? That's what we need. And we can have other states join us. It's like I said, if the blue states want to go ahead and ruin their states, and I don't know how California has a $70-something billion surplus.
Well, they got the frickin' bailout.
That's incredible, everybody.
Part of this multi-trillion-dollar thing that just got passed had bailout money in it for some of these blue states that had come to a devastating, or were close to a devastating end because of their mismanagement.
Is that a troll? Anyway, we just noticed there's something going on in the chat line. But anyway, let's talk about this. The Arizona audit, the Michigan audit, the New Hampshire audit.
Oh, the feds are all upset about that shit.
Let me tell you, they're jumping up and down about it, especially the canvassing that they're doing, because they're finding out a whole lot of stuff. Now, Mike Lindell pretty soon is going to be bringing up some stuff, and guess what he says he has?
No telling with the pillow guy.
He has the real deal, Dominion voting machines.
Well,
I don't know where or how he got them, but he's got them. And he's going to be blowing off the roof. Now, along with the Arizona audit, let me tell you, Biden, a potato head, sent hundreds of lawyers to Arizona to try and stop that audit. They are now jumping up and down, and the media is going crazy trying to say that it's not worth a damn. It's not worth the time. Oh, yeah, there was some cheating, but wasn't enough to change the vote. Well, really? Really? Not when a county has more votes than voters.
I saw that in Minnesota a few times.
Yeah. I mean, 2020 is not the first time this mess has gone on.
And when the media starts making the statement that, well, maybe there was a little cheating, but not enough to make a difference, that shows you exactly how muddied the waters are.
That's right. And in the 2016 election, there were people not on the presidential ballot, but there were people down ballot that won, and everybody was scratching their heads. How in the hell did they win?
Yep. We should not accept any voter fraud.
The whole thing about the audit is to make sure our voting is fair, accurate, and follows the Constitution. It gives the guideline, even though the people in the courts refuse to let the lawsuits have their day. They actually joined in with the misfits. And of course, we saw it real time when everything just changed overnight. Overnight. I mean, a fair and honest audit of the 2020 election from each state fair and honest rulings from the courts. Any court. Any court. And of course, OG, that's what we have going on here in Texas. Our courts are crooked as hell. They really are. And I just watched a bill that went before the House floor here in Texas that dealt with bails, talking about bails that were set so high that the defendant couldn't afford it. They didn't have the means. And we've seen this with the bikers.
Yes, we have. There's a lot of smaller communities in Texas that have these little good old boy dynasties that run back for generations.
You bet they do. And we've got a good old boy network up in D.C. too.
We sure do.
Yeah, they do. You know what they are? They're thieves, everybody. That's all Biden has done, the potato head, his whole career, and we're probably going to get kicked off YouTube tonight. His whole career, that's all he's done is steal and benefit his entire family. His son, his brother, you name it. You name it. It's a family business. You know what? And every time I see family members that do this type of stuff, it just drives me insane. And that's one reason I don't like too much about husband and wife political teams. Both of them holding office. And generally, they all have money. Speaking of money, guys like...
You do know we have that going on in Texas between the Attorney General and his wife.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it's... Well, there's other officers that are like that too. I can't remember their names off the top of my head. Hell, if I couldn't remember Tucker Carlson, how am I going to remember anybody else? Just saying, everybody. But speaking of big money, guys like Bill Gates, and evidently he and his wife started breaking up over this Epstein guy.
Karma's a bitch.
Evidently he was making some visits to the children, or something was going on. Some
overnight stays on the island.
Yeah, yeah. Jetting in and out, Yeah.
Who'd have thought Bill had it in him?
Hey, man. He's,
He looked like a geek to me.
Yeah, but you know what? It's usually that type that are perverts.
Yeah.
Just saying, I'm not trying to insult all you geeks out there. But something was strange about him, and still is strange about him. But he and Zuckerberg and many others, Soros and everybody else, they can use their money to buy their way in. We shouldn't be listening to any of these people, whether it's about climate change, whether it's about socialism or whatever else, or what food you're going to eat, or maybe getting rid of meat. Meatless meat. Damn, everybody.
I'll tell you, the way they're configuring all this crap that's coming out of Congress now, not too many years distance, if this is allowed to go, you're going to be told how much you can drive during the year, what you can drive.
Oh, yes.
You're not going to go anywhere without your COVID passport.
Oh, yeah. And they said that the other night. I forget which show it was, but they were actually talking about here in the near future, you were going to have a pass to do anything.
That's right.
And you know what?
It's coming.
In D.C., if you go to a wedding, you better not dance, damn it. You better not dance. You better not celebrate. You better not give anybody hugs. And the bride and groom must kiss with a mask on. I'm serious.
Speaking of which, we're all familiar with Rolling Thunder.
Yeah.
And the fact that that kind of got shut down, and the next generation has been generated. However, now I just caught the last part of it on TV tonight, but it sounds like it's in trouble over COVID restrictions. They don't want several hundred or several thousand bikers in the same area during the COVID crisis in Washington, D.C. So they're going to shut down the vets.
They're going to shut down the vets. Why don't you come to Texas and we'll host it? Get in contact with me. We'll move it to Texas. That's what we should do. You know, I'm all for moving everything out of D.C. anyway. I'm all for shutting that shit down. We don't need to allow them. Oh man, I really want to say some bad words, but I'm on YouTube. Well, we're going to get kicked off anyway, right?
That's right. Go for it.
Yeah.
What the hell?
We don't want to allow them cocksuckers to meet with each other and collude with each other and continue the disaster they're doing. It's a freaking disaster. And you guys, we want you to subscribe and share right now. We need to spread the word to everybody. Hey, you've got to stand up. State sovereignty must be enforced at this time. No matter what they say, no matter what they do, we will not obey. And that should be from the governor on down to the lowest of the low here in this state. The bum living on the street. They don't comply with anybody. They don't want anybody bossing them. I mean, they've been out there living in this hell of a rainstorm we've had the last 24 hours. They're not running for shelter. They're not running for safety. They're out there toughing it. They're not going to comply. And all we've got to do is send some frickin' emails. Maybe go to a protest or two. Maybe go to a rally. Damn. It's simple as that. Do not comply. Do not conform any way you want to put it. And we got to push these guys in the state legislatures, our legislators. We need to push them. Hey, you've got to stand up. You've got to have some balls. And you know what? Progressive women have showed more balls than the Republicans. Well, with the exception of a few.
Yep.
But what they didn't have the votes to pass this H.R. 1. So then, as usual, the Democrats changed the rules. You know, if I had cancer again and I knew I was dying, I'd go take care of some of that shit. Just saying, everybody. I'll probably have somebody arresting me tomorrow. But, I mean, you know, damn. You know, it would help if we had some real investigative journalism. Quit watching that damn mainstream media. Quit tuning into these sports games and all that shit. All these people that are out there being woke. Quit supporting them. buy you a motorcycle, come ride with us. If you're if you're having problems finding something to do, we'll find you something to do. But we've got to take them on. This is our job now, is taking them on, is saving our Constitution. And really, that's what this is all about. Saving the Constitution, saving the Republic from these evil, evil people. And that's what they are. If you were to listen to the people on that House floor today who acted just as dumb as they could be, especially on the, I hate to say this, on the Democratic side. Now remember, I used to be a Democrat. Oh yeah, I was a union organizer. But NAFTA changed that. I'm telling you. So, man. The potato head and the guy in the bunker, you know who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
His last name starts with O. They're exposing themselves.
The puppet master.
That's right. They're exposing themselves. All these disasters that are going on at the same time, and Biden couldn't get a paragraph out the other day when I don't know where he was speaking, but he could barely get it out.
He stumbles and mumbles.
Matter of fact is they had to stop and do the answers for him. That's how bad it was. I was going to show you that tonight, but I couldn't find it. I lost the damn thing. Sometimes you see this stuff and it just disappears. Or maybe they find out about it. But the mainstream media is busy covering for him. They're busy lying every day. That's all they do is lie. If their mouths are, that includes your local news. Turn those bastards off and let their sponsors know. Let their sponsors know. Now we can fight back. And right now, that Harvest Ministries, they're busy forming a conservative buyers app. In other words, you go there to buy, and it's all American made. It's all American companies that are trying to help them survive against all these woke corporations and the things they're doing. And let me tell you guys, that mask thing, I don't know what kind of damage we're doing to children. I went up to the local mall today and they got kids in there with masks on.
Masks everywhere.
Just stupid. They're not following the science. What they're doing is they're following these dumbasses on local television. That's what they're doing. Go to the CDC, their website, and you can look at the latest data, the latest science, and even that, it's the stores still have 6 feet apart. It's not 6 feet apart anymore. It's now
3 feet.
That's right, 3 feet. I've seen people with double mask outside by themselves.
Oh, the real crack up is driving down the road in their car.
Yeah.
With a mask on.
Yeah. Now, here lately, Home Depot is still pretty strict about theirs. I walked into one the other day. They said, "Sir, you want a mask?" I said, "Not really."
Yeah.
He handed me one.
They even have on their sign outside, the mask is mandated even if you've been fully vaccinated.
Yeah. So what I did is I walked around with that mask in my hand.
That's what I do a lot now.
I just had it in my hand and never put it on. And then I saw some other guys without a mask, we all stopped and talked a while. And then we all agreed that hey, everybody don't needs to be in these damn masks. That place was big enough we could remain 3 feet apart. But I had a doctor, you know, I've been in and out of the hospitals there with the stroke thing, and one doctor told me, he said, well, you can even catch it if you're vaccinated. I looked at him, I said, so you don't believe in the science that's saying, hey, the vaccine's good to go? He said, well, it's not that. Well, I mean, what the hell is it? It either works or it doesn't work. Which side do you on? He said, well, it works. Well, why are you telling me you can get it anyway? Well, there's a possibility. I said, well, shit, there's a possibility I can be run over by a car tomorrow.
The weasel wording they tend to use when they say people who have been vaccinated have caught COVID is they're saying that immediately I have yet to hear a real definition as to how protected you're supposed to be if you get the 2-shot scenario, how protected you're supposed to be after the first shot, between the time between your first shot and your second shot. You really don't hear much about that. But what you hear is after the second shot, you have to wait a full 2 weeks before you're considered fully vaccinated. So they tend to say, well, people tend to get sloppy and lazy after they've received their vaccination shot, and they're not as careful as they have been or they should be.
Yeah.
So, you know, and they're already talking about boosters and this variant and that variant. It's all just still bullshit.
You know, OG, it's just plain, the people that are running the show now are just plain, they just plain don't know what they're doing. They've got all these ideologies. They're trying to implement them as fast as they can, spreading money all over the place, our tax dollars. They're printing it, as Steve Forbes said today, the feds are just printing it out of thin air. It's going to devalue the dollar. Every move they're making is going to devalue the dollar. Prices are going to go up. Inflation is going to be back. Interest rates are going to be higher than hell. That's coming. Well, wait a minute now. This is another problem. In the past, the feds have raised interest rates to control inflation. Guess what? They're not going to do it this time around.
No, when's the last time you saw interest rates raised?
Yeah, they're not going to do it now. And Steve Forbes says that's the wrong move. That's the wrong move. So this is going to get interesting as hell. Let me say this to all you guys. You pass the word. Every disaster that comes up each day, each week, each month, you raise hell about it and have your friends and family and everybody else do it. And try and get through the wonks in your family, like mine, that are left-wing morons. Now, my sister-in-law is finally getting out of the house, and guess where she's going?
Where?
New York City!
Oh, wow.
Now, we do have a niece that lives up there. And I can just imagine what that visit's going to be like. Of course, she's not actually staying in New York City. She's going to be staying out there on Long Island.
Oh.
Yeah. I picked up we We picked up a sailboat in Long Island one time, and we took it down to Kemah. From Long Island, New York to Kemah. Quite the trip. But, man, a lot of rich people live out there.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got to have a lot of money to live up there with all the taxes.
Yeah. Yeah. But, hey, and they're going to raise taxes again up there. They're going to raise taxes in California, and I guess they're going to pass some of that $70 billion around. They're already building houses, little tiny houses for the homeless. But guess what? Many of the homeless aren't moving into them. It ain't part of it. They don't want rules. They don't want to be ruled. So they're still on the sidewalks at Venice Beach.
There's a reason the majority of them are homeless.
Yeah.
They don't want a home.
They don't want nothing. They don't want to comply. And to live in one of those tiny houses that are built at $8,000 a pop for the state, you can have 2 people in them, these tiny houses.
It's like sitting in a coffin.
Yeah. I could imagine what that's like when they get in a fight, in a drug fight or something. Wow. But hey, guys, look, that means, listen, with the delay of the bill, HB 1338 in the Texas House, we still have time to send out some emails.
Emails and calls.
That's right. You guys that are listening to this in Texas, hey, if you have not emailed your state representative, do it now. Go to Texas Defenders or TXCOCI and do you see that?
Yeah, we're primed for next time.
Oh, we are?
We're primed
you
for next
let them
time.
know?
Had some underground discussion.
Okay.
And their hands are full right now.
Okay.
And they're tending to business based on prior messaging. And
that last one must have jerked their jibs.
It did. It's had them wrapped up pretty good.
Yeah.
So we are ready to proceed next week. However, we do have a little more Texas business to discuss.
Let's do it.
And that is the Texas Council of Clubs Region 2. Texas Council of Clubs Region 2. Had a meeting set this month on the 17th, which is a Sunday, at Southern Junction. That meeting has been canceled. I repeat, the meeting has been canceled. There was a last-minute problem with the venue. We're not able to meet there. It's too short a time period to try and get something set up for as many people as show up. So Iron Mike and I talked about it today and decided the best thing to do was say, hey, let's just not worry about May. We will meet in July, and it will most probably be the same venue. So watch for the new flyer to come out within the next month. But don't go out there on the 17th because the meeting has been canceled.
There you go. Hey, real quick, what we're going to do is, let me switch the cube for a minute. Now that is the Gaza Strip, and right, I see, let me see, I see some glowing back in there like a fire.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can get some sound of that.
Is that switched over?
Yeah, it's switched over.
Oh, it takes...
It's in the green.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So, let me see if I can get some audio to this thing. See if we can hear something.
Now, not seeing any streaks in the sky. That's a good thing.
Yeah. But I do see some glowing back there, like there's a fire. Oh, you see that?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was an explosion.
Yeah, it was an explosion. So every once in a while, you can hear the jets flying across there. And I'll post this link.
Now, rest assured, the Israelis will rain shit on these terrorists.
Yeah.
They will do it. They need not much help from us other than just support, to say we're in support of them. They are fully capable of taking care of themselves.
Yeah. Now, what we're seeing there now is the Gaza Strip. And it looks like there's several places, I see 4, where it looks like a fire or something glowing. I just heard an explosion then. Let me see if I've got... Wow. Anyway, you might... Back during Desert Storm and when all that stuff was going on and CNN was showing all that stuff live.
Yeah.
What was his name? Arnett. The bomb started coming down and he climbed underneath the table, had a microphone in his hand.
Under the table.
I was dying laughing. Under this little small table. It's incredible. Incredible.
They were talking, these rockets and mortars they've been flinging in are creating some hellacious craters.
Yeah, they, matter of fact is they caught a ship the other day that had just all kinds of rockets and mortars, all kinds of military hardware, sophisticated stuff that was headed toward the Gaza.
Well, and to show you just how weak we are now perceived, the Iranians are sending their little armed gunships up against our Navy again.
They should blow their asses out of the water. They should not let them get close to any American ship, any of them.
I saw something where they said one Navy ship fired 30 warning shots. In my estimation, there should have been 1.
Yeah.
And then the second one should have blasted that bastard right out of the water.
I think that's what they need to do. Take them out. Take them out. We're going to have it with these people sooner or later anyway. But I don't want it to be. I don't want it to be with this guy, the potato head, in charge. Because here's what I see as the perceived point. The reason these bad actors are acting up is because they think the Democrats are on their side. They're trying their best to make a deal with Iran, and they just haven't offered them enough yet. We've already given them $1.5 billion under the Obama administration. What is Joe going to be willing to give them? What is he going to be willing to give them?
And what's he going to get in return?
Nothing. Nothing.
Well, don't be so sure. There might be a little skim involved there.
What he will get is free advertisement and backup by the mainstream media.
Yeah.
That's what he'll get. But let me say this. If we are kicked off the air on YouTube, we will be on Rumble. We will be on MeWe. And on MeWe, we are there. We are called, we're called TB Radio, Texas Biker Radio. I don't know why I did that title. I need to get in there and see if I can change it or create another one. And but I will. And this is being recorded as we are live streaming, and we will post it up on Rumble tonight, and it'll be on our TexasBikerRadio.org website. You can find us there. It'll be in our blog or on the front page, and you can watch it there. Tell your friends about us and pass the word, like and share. It's very important that you do that. It certainly helps us. We know YouTube is jacking with the ability for some people to find us. We know they're holding our numbers down because we have friend requests every day. And we know our numbers should be climbing when they're, I don't know. I'll have to look at it and see what it is today. I didn't look this week. Ooh, there's another flare-up. With that, everybody. OG, you got anything to close with?
No, stay safe.
Stay safe. Key word. Hard to do with everything that's going on within our government. Hard to do. But if you don't have a motorcycle, buy one. Come ride with us. If you're coming in or through the DFW area, give us a buzz. We'll be glad to talk to you. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.